Hello again, everybody. This is Cassandra, and welcome back to my channel. Tonight, I was gonna say today, but it's tonight, the day before I'm actually making this, I'm gonna start my beef tail to make my broth, and so I'm gonna season it, and I'm thinking of making it into a Mexican type inspired thing. I don't know if the meat on this is gonna be good, but I know regardless it'll make good broth. So I'm not planning on the meat on it to be any good, but I have a lot of canned tomatoes and canned corn and canned green chilies, and we'll make a soup out of it regardless if I have meat or not, and I'll have really good broth. So first thing, I need to cut up my tail. I have a bouillon cube too. We'll season it in a second. I already have my insert for my crock pot full of water. I just thought it'd be faster. I need a cutting board. I'm organized. Doing things this late at night is never very good for your brain. But this is from 22. I'm trying really hard to get through all the old stuff in my freezer. Between having my herniated disc surgery, getting it removed, and a bulging disc, and my kid having seizures, and all that jazz, I got really behind on getting a lot of things done that I had planned on doing back in whenever it was. This is almost thawed out. Well, the meat looks fine. The outside looks a little discolored, but I think it should actually be pretty good. I'm going to cut this up a little bit. I thought about just leaving it whole, but it's going to be easier later on, I think, if I cut it into pieces in case the meat is nice. I can just eat individual little chunks of it. So we're going to get through all of the cartilage and stuff and get little bones. If you ever get an oxtail, you just cut around the joint. You can see them. And I don't really have any good way to show it to you, like right here. See, that little spot is the joint. You just cut right around there, and I cut straight through. It's harder when you get up farther because you can't see the joint. But let's see, because the moment you find the right spot, it goes straight through. There's no reason to force it. It will cut through when you find the right spot. The one right here is right there. Oh, missed it. Where is it? See, it's right there. I'm not sure why I didn't go through. Let's try again. Could be frozen still right here. There it is. Just a little frozen still in that spot. And you'll have little chunks of meat. I might leave them on the bone. I might pop it out. I don't know. Let's see if I can find this one or not. My hand's all slimy now. There it is. Because it's all in equal spaces too. See? If you can't find it and see it, the moment you find one or two, you'll know where the rest of them are. Okay, let me wash my hands real quick and then we'll get it seasoned. Okay, clean hands. My water is like a ½ an inch from the tallest bone, and I think that's going to be plenty of broth for just one pot of soup. You could probably make a lot more and boil it down and make like a big pot of soup, but since I'm making it to eat the bone, it makes sense to just have enough broth to make it. So I'm going to add 1 beef bouillon cube just to help out with the flavor a little bit. I have some minced dried onions. I'm not going to get a measuring spoon out. I'm just doing about a teaspoon of most everything. I have some freeze-dried garlic that I got on Ibotta rebate such a long time ago. I'm going to have to actually buy some at some point. Let's see. Some cumin. Going along with that Mexican type vibe. Southwest, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get about a little over a teaspoon of that because I like cumin. In case you never noticed with some of my older videos. Chili powder. I don't want this on my hand. That's why I'm using the lid to measure out. That's probably a little bit under a tablespoon, which I don't want it to be too spicy, so that works. I have my white pepper, because I don't really like black pepper chunks, and so that's probably like maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon, or 1/8 of a tablespoon, whatever. Half a teaspoon. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt, because I only did 1 bouillon cube. I'm going to think of the equivalent of like 2 teaspoons. I can always season it more after I throw all the stuff in it. So I'm going to put this on low overnight on my crock pot, and in the morning I'll pop it off and add all my canned vegetables. I forgot a bay leaf, one sec. Bay leaves. These are so old. 2018, I really need to buy some more, but I hate buying more because I still have some. It lasts so long when you only use like 1 leaf for a pot of soup. It just lasts forever. Anyways, yes, I'm going to put this on low overnight. First thing in the morning, I'll open it, taste some of the meat on the bone and make sure it's still good, that it hasn't gone bad. And if it hasn't, I will just figure out what I'm going to do with that in the morning and throw all my canned vegetables and stuff in here at that point, and then we'll make the soup out of it. I don't think I'm going to add any noodles to it, but I might. We'll see what it looks like in the morning, because I have a lot of noodles in my cupboard. I could throw in some like elbow noodles or something to make it a little more hearty of a soup. But past that, this is ready to go, and I'm going to go to bed. So I will catch y'all in the morning. Alright, it's the next morning, and this is what I'm going to be adding into my soup. In a second, I'm going to check it and see if the beef is good or not. If it's not, I might add another can of a different kind of bean, but I think the way it smells, it should be just fine. I'm going to drain my corn, drain my tomatoes. I'm going to have to add more salt to my soup, but I figured I was going to have to add something. Rinse my black beans and drain them, and I got a little can of fire roasted chilies, and I'm going to add about half of this bag of elbow noodles. But first, we need to go get those bones out of our broth. Alright, let's get this lid off. Ooh, that broth looks good. Does it look good? And see how these come out. Smells really good. Got like collagen-y goodness. The center is literally like Jell-O right now because all the collagen leaked out of it. Remember last night it was all white? Now it's weird. I was gonna leave the bones in, but I figured if I made it complicated, I might not eat the soup later on in the week. So I'm gonna see if I can pop the meat off the bones first. I'm gonna pull it out, let it cool off a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna finish fishing out all my little chunks and then get everything else drained. I'll be right back. Found my tail and my bay leaf, so you know, life is good. Look at how weird it looks. It's all the collagen out of the center of the little bit of, well, it's collagen anyways because it's a tail. Alright, I'm gonna get all the meat off these bones. Well, let's taste a piece first. Oh, meat. Oh yeah, still good. So I guess 2 years is still fine to eat from white wrapping your meat. Okay, I'm gonna get everything situated and back in the pot. I got pretty much all the meat off the bone. I kind of gave up a little bit. I might pick at it and snack on it anyways, but that's all that's left. 90% of it was cartilage that was like melted into the broth. So let's use that to move my other stuff. And I have my beans that I drained and rinsed, my corn, my tomatoes, and my green chilies. Sorry, it's a weird angle. I don't really have any way to get to this part of my kitchen. So this is going to be a very thick soup. Just how I like it. Get everything back in. One wants a brothy soup. I might be able to get my noodles in here too. It might be entertaining. Yeah. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to add, I got this bag of elbow noodles a while ago from the food bank. I'm going to add half of it I think a whole bag would be way too much. So we're going to eyeball half. I'm going to get some salt and a couple other things because this is kind of bland. Okay, about half-ish. I just have to remember to stir it a little bit. My crock pot is very old, probably close to a decade at this point, so it's going to take a while. I'm going to kick it over to high, get some other seasonings, because it's going to take a bit for the noodles to cook all the way through. So, I don't know, noodles stuck in my spoon. Got it. Let's get some salt, because my tomatoes don't have salt. My broth is a little bland right now, and my noodles themselves are gonna soak up some of the broth. I don't actually, I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna add some more white pepper. I always regret it in the end. Just a tiny bit. Tiny. 1 second, let me dig out some more seasonings. Alright, we added salt, pepper. I'm gonna add a little more chili powder, some oregano, and the tiniest bit of crushed red pepper. I think it'll go really good with this. Oregano to give it a little more herby flavor because it's kind of just bland right now. So I'm going to do like a half a tablespoon, so like a teaspoon worth of my dried oregano, making a mess. Let's hold off on the chili powder and let's see what it tastes like with the crushed red peppers. Because I'm only planning on doing like a tiny bit, like half a teaspoon. Just enough to give it a little kick. And of course, everyone's favorite, cumin. To try to counteract the red pepper flakes. So I'm gonna pop the lid on, let it get itself back up to a boil and cook my noodles, and then we'll taste it again. And we'll go from there. Should be ready by lunchtime, for me at least. My kid will not eat this. She used to eat soups, but she doesn't anymore. But that's okay. We all changed what we like eating. So I will catch you in about an hour or so. I am so glad I only did half that thing of noodles. Oh, that's so much soup. I hope my sister wants some. It tastes pretty good too. It's a little, no spicier than I intended, but I'm glad I didn't put the chili powder in it. And we can always salt it or add pepper or whatever you want into it when you're eating it. Look at that steam. I think it looks great. So I'm going to get a bowl going, and I have some dairy-free sour cream that I can toss on top too, so that'll be really good. So 1 second, and I will show you what it looks like. I'll plate it up. Lunch, dinner, whatever meal you want to call it is served. I think it looks pretty dang tasty. Okay, I'm sorry, it's lactose-free. So it's kind of like Lactaid, but it's a different brand because I can't find the Lactaid sour cream. I can find the cottage cheese, I can find the milk, but I can't find the sour cream, which is probably better than this because Lactaid has been around a lot longer. But this is going to be a great addition to my little bowl of soup. And I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this. I could make some garlic bread if I wanted to later on, but past that, I think I'm going to go eat. I hope you enjoyed my little video. If you do, toss me a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Later!